Alrighty, it is currently 5:15 p.m. and this is above building 1802. In perfect alignment with me is the pattern that you're looking at, remaining at the same property since 7 o'clock in the morning. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're witnessing. And you're also understanding what is the maintenance of that engineered environment through, I like to call it supplemental light activity. When a demon crosses path, light moves across surfaces like what Juan Quereto of 1818 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 5, engaged in. That's why the people of the state are going to be subject to order mental examinations as they engage in what is obsessive stalking. All right, Exhibit A inside of the laundry room where the light source is over the venue. There's nothing other than criminal surveillance going on in the laundry room, as is already the case. Well, LAPD is engaged in surveillance, and engineered light is all over the ceilings, all over the floor, perpendicular light, multiple shadows. The light source is captured on video from 8:47 to 4:18 in the afternoon. It is still remaining over the same property, and there's engineered light inside of that laundry room. Those are demons that are engaging in stalking in a laundry room. That's very demented, very sick, very weird. They're also sex offenders that are placing me under surveillance 24 hours a day. And at 5:15 p.m. the light source is remaining while I'm at the Fontana Lewis Library. And on October 1st at 5:52, I believe, you can see it you can access it with the link that I published, because this is documentation that has long existed. I am reminding you about what the state of California is engaging in as I come to a new location, come to Los Angeles, and the identical pattern of conduct is underway. Something that no one could make up. Perhaps no one has ever been able to encapsulate it into a succinct pattern of conduct, but that does not mean that it's not occurring and that it's not indeed a pattern of conduct. I can't make up the people of the state that engage in a pattern of being in your path with some method of light activity while they're surrounded by light activity, while their light activity is being created with simultaneity to their movement in the environment. Can't make it up the fact that the light source is over the same property for 10 hours in a day. Can't make it up that you are looking at what are very severely mentally deranged psychopaths who are squarely highlighted as engaging in nothing other than criminal activity while they look to the left and the right under that light source amongst that light activity in concert with the state that's engaged in 24-hour surveillance in helicopters. Okay, that is showing the world the freaks that are the demon possessed who are placing American citizens under surveillance. Very highly malicious is what that's legally referred to, and that's what you're prosecuting for. You're going to remember while you're looking at that video, and I'm inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, pay attention to the roof. Excuse me, not the roof, but the ceiling above my head when I'm walking to the back of the library that faces Sierra. First of all, you'll see the light source, which is not this, and it's not in alignment to my bedroom where the entity is going to move this light source in order to create what is a demonic imitation of the natural environment, because the people of the state and the state of California acting directly via the LAPD are engaged in state surveillance. You're going to pay attention to exactly the same exact pattern of conduct. You saw Vanessa Dries, a demon, and a third party who's going to federal prison, who's going to be subject to mental examinations. You're going to see the same pattern of conduct that you saw Center for Better Life, that demon that is arriving systematically, engaging in group stalking here with the people of the state, crossing path with engineered light, moving all across the building and all across the asphalt like you saw yesterday, April 10th, 2024, here at the venue under the light source where it remained. And you're going to pay attention to what you saw, for example, the African-American driving the Ryder vehicle, entering onto the grounds, and engineered light is moving all across the asphalt behind his vehicle while he is entering in. That's a demon crossing in the path with light. That's what demons do. They are stalking in the path with engineered light. They're keeping you under surveillance, and they're also monitoring on communication devices in violation of Title 18. While you're paying attention to that, I want you to look inside of the library in this video where I'm inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, which is in nowhere the same sky space here. So this is what is going on here at Alvarado Gardens, the state surveillance, and all 59 units are filled with third parties who are going to federal prison. And the entity is engaging in what is that same hallmark. You're looking at engineered light that's moving all across the ceiling inside of that Fontana Lewis Library, while outside of that library where I am elevated, and you're looking at what is traffic, but you're looking at engineered light that's moving across the ceiling inside of the library. Those are demons that know exactly where I'm at. They know exactly what I'm doing. They know I'm in operation of a communication device, and that is how the demon possessed let you know through their demented pattern of conduct that you are indeed the one whom they are stalking, whom they are pursuing, whom they are, in other words, following and keeping under surveillance. And the entity also lets you know that because they are engaged in a system of stalking and following and pursuing in helicopters. But again, the demon's light activity is the demon's confession that they are pursuing you. And they do that through walking in engineered light like Kumli did. They do that by driving their vehicle in engineered light like Juan Carreto did, like Vanessa Dries did, like Center for Better Life of LA County did, like Ryder, who comes onto the grounds, like they did the exact same thing. This is what the entity is doing. Also, when it's stationary, present inside of a room, this is what demons are letting you know. This is impossible light activity. There's no sunlight that's going to be inside of the laundry room here under any sort of natural environment where the sun is remaining present for 11 hours. That's not the sun and that's not sunlight. It's also the same engineer light that you're seeing on my ceiling, seeing on the bedrooms, manifesting, moving all around inside of my bedrooms and in the kitchen and in the living room, my shadow appearing above my head. And then you're going to remember everything that they're doing. It's ongoing facilitation. This is literally somebody that's engaged in surveillance in a laundry room. How pathetic, right? But they go to federal prison for that. All right, the engineer light is all around her. She's going to federal prison. And it's a psychopath that's listening to her criminal activity being literally itemized and broken down for a federal government who's going to learn their system and prosecute more. But anyway, the entity is engaging in what is this system, and you're going to juxtapose that with the maintenance of the light source in Fontana, California. And by the way, that same street in Fontana, I'm facing Sierra, after 5 p.m. where the entity is engaging in demonic imitation of the natural environment, and you're looking at engineered light because sunlight doesn't create any light activity on the ceilings inside of buildings while outside traffic is in motion. That's the pattern of conduct. What you're going to pay attention to is that's the same street on Sierra where I'm present there at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's the same block where Officer McMillan of the Fontana Police Department is group stalking on a motorcycle that doesn't have any license plate. That's the same block where Amazon Prime is flying over my head, by the way, in the evening at 6:32 p.m. where that light source is seen there setting. And then you're going to remember what LAPD is doing in the specific environment. That is crossing path in concert with the people of the state who are pacing all around building 1802, engaging in criminal surveillance in the laundry room, engaging in what is group stalking while you're looking at this engineered light on the door. That's a demon that's creating noise in the specific environment. You know the demon's pattern of conduct. That's exactly what they're doing. Engineered light is all over that dumpster, walking underneath the light source that's been here for 11 hours. Psychopaths and sex offenders who are caught engaging in that terrorism, and they pose an impermissible threat while they continue. And that's why everybody here is going to federal prison. All right, and LAPD flying over, they're going to federal prison. They're going to be done as a police department, and they're also telling on the rest of the law enforcement agencies in the state of California. This is exactly what they're practicing. This is exactly what their condition is, demon possession, and they're dangerous psychopaths who intend to, in every regard, continue to threaten and terrorize and keep under surveillance criminally an American citizen that intends to enforce their rights, and that is informing federal policy that shall come into existence, in addition to what is existing federal policy that the federal government is going to enforce. It is currently 5:22 p.m. The entity is going to move this light source, and it's going to be in alignment to my bedroom window. And the entity is aiming engineered light. That engineered light coming through closed blinds, appearing on my bedroom wall with leaves blowing in the trees through that magnified light, is speaking to the demons that surround on the property. Okay? They're a bunch of sex offenders. Okay, they're engaging in what is ongoing surveillance in the private space, and there is nowhere, there is no time, no possible way that the sun that's aiming through the Fontana Lewis Library window that faces Sierra Avenue is going to result in any sunlight inside of my bedroom here. Certainly not through closed blinds, certainly never creating any light activity in the shade like you see here. This is the pattern of conduct. This is the engineered light that's on my wall. The engineered light that's coexisting with Juan Carreto driving by, appearing on building 1802. Pay attention to that video again. At 4:32 p.m. And I juxtapose that with my location in Palmdale, California, by the way, on October 23rd, 2021. And you'll see the light source over my head at a random car wash in Palmdale, California, where Tracy Banks is crossing path, engaging in that same exact demonic pattern of conduct, targeting her own flesh and blood. That is the systematic engagement in the pattern of conduct, which is the grounds of federal prison, by the way. And while she's engaging in an act of terrorism, she is engaging in the same exact pattern of conduct that Juan Carreto engaged. That's terrorism via directed light, where demons are targeting you. And then psychopaths who converse with you and smile in your face, engage in what is conversations while they're stalking you on behalf of the state. That's why they're all going to federal prison. Okay? That's nothing other than the P.O.C. Demented psychopaths that are obsessed. Okay? All of the environment is showing that, and their obsession is shown through their maintenance of presence in the path. Okay, they don't have to talk to you. They're maintaining presence in an engineered environment under a light source that's present for 11 hours. Yeah, you're going to federal prison for that, and you're going to be subject to what are necessary, mandatory mental examinations. And those that are in this country, by the way, that are not even natural-born citizens, placing under surveillance American citizens who are enforcing their rights against a corrupt government. They're acting in concert with a corrupt government. They will be put on the first thing smoking out of this country after they do their time in federal prison. And that's just necessary as a matter of justice. It is currently 5:24 p.m. As I return to my apartment, the entity is engaged in a massive sex offense. All right, not only am I being molested with engineered light, not only am I being terrorized with engineered light that fills my apartment, you have what are the people of the state just engaged in an ongoing random sex offense while they cross path, knowing exactly what I'm doing inside of my private space. This is what's reflected through the traffic on Alvarado Street. All right, and they're doing so engaging in terrorism with LAPD, who is obsessively stalking me while I'm inside of my apartment in a helicopter. Okay, this is that demented population, the demon possessed in the state of California, that are engaged in group stalking. Group stalking is demonic activity, and this is making manifest and exposing what are the secrets of those who don't want you to know their condition. But it's not just their condition that you know of now. You know about their criminal activity, and it's going to be used against them, and then it's going to be put on the world stage, and then it's going to be published for the Department of Justice to maintain, and they will never be able to work or live just anywhere that they want to, based on the threat that they are, based on the pattern of conduct that they obsessively continue to engage in. It's currently 5:25 p.m. This is P.O.C.